What's going on, world? You're live on the set with 5150, and I have a friend of mine that I met through Toastmasters, which is a public speaking forum that's actually international, and they bring people into the world of public speaking so people can adjust their fears. But Rosie, welcome to the show. How are you doing out there? Say hello to all your peoples out there in the world.
Hello, thank you for the invitation. I'm so glad to be here with you, Dion. That's a pleasure. Hello, everybody. Right. I hope everybody's doing well and safe.
Where are you from? Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Brazil, São Paulo in Brazil. There's a countryside of Brazil, the city called Ribeirão Preto. Yeah, but I live in States for 14 years already.
Wow. Obrigado.
De nada.
That's all I know.
That's good.
Yeah, I learned that. I remember I was like, I got to learn at least one word.
Yeah, it's very similar to Spanish. It's very similar.
That's what I noticed, because I know a little bit of Spanish, but when I hear Brazilians speak Portuguese, I catch a lot of words here and there and kind of get the idea of what they're saying. So I see a similarity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, one of the reasons I brought you on as a guest of the show is I understand you've been into the yoga world for a little bit, as far as yoga goes, and possibly maybe even like to get a little understanding of maybe your spirituality and your diet and stuff in that area. But okay, well, the question is, do you do yoga? Because that's what the conversation.
Yes, I have been doing yoga, I believe, since 2012. That was like my first contact with yoga. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, my first class was more flow yoga. I did some lymphatic yoga and then hatha yoga. So, but I got a certification 2 years ago as a Kundalini yoga teacher. Was the level 1. Kundalini is very nice form of yoga. It's more deep. You like pretty much work with all our chakras. But because of like all this craziness going on, you cannot go to the classes right now. I have been practicing because Kundalini, like I said, is very deep type of yoga that kind of use mantras, meditation in the Kundalini. But lately I have been doing more as an exercise. I'm not like doing much Kundalini because I cannot go to the studio or things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but yoga is a good practice, especially for those days, like it's nice because yoga is something that you can link your spirituality, your body, exercising, relaxing all at once.
Okay, so what brought you to yoga and how did you find yoga?
I believe what brought me to yoga was more because I want to change my lifestyle, like get more connected with my inner being.
So it was spiritual, not just physical.
Yes, like in some way, it's depends what kind of type of yoga you practice. Yoga can link all together. You can get like your body move. That's the when people do exercise, they want to move their bodies, right? They want to get fit or they want to get in shape. You can have this with yoga too. But what brought myself to yoga was mostly I wanted something to kind of strengthen up my spirituality. And then why I started to do this yoga. This was in the beginning was lymphatic yoga. Was a student at Dr. Phillips. Was very nice, and since then I couldn't stop. Like a meditation, yoga for me is a type of meditation, because you get yourself in the pose, you stay there for a while, you breathe, breathe in, breathe out. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, now you said something that interests me. What did you learn about breathing and breath that yoga? What did because I know it. What did it give you on the knowledge of breathing and breath? What did you gain
For myself, the breath is the most sacred, act. When you breathe in, you breathe out, that means you are alive. Without the breath, you cannot survive.
Yes.
And then yoga bring you this conscious, like the way you can breathe, because you live in a society that's very like fast-paced society. Sometimes you like even forget the correct way to breathe.
Yes.
I learned in yoga as a human being, you just kind of breathe. Most of us, because of this craziness out there, you just breathe correct when you were like babies, like you kind of you inhale deep and then you exhale. You do this like in a right way when you're a baby. Once you grow up, you start this kind of act, like way of living, like going to work, have like so many tasks to do, are like breathing shallow. You like you have very, very, very shallow breathing. And with the yoga practice, you can go back, you relearn how to breathe. That's one of the techniques. That's very nice because you align, you align your body, your movements, the way you breathe.
It's very interesting. I've been doing yoga for a while, and I definitely noticed from what I've studied and understanding about the breath, you can control stuff from your stress levels to your body temperature to your total energy, to everything inside and outside of you. I've noticed controlling your breath, especially under stressful or fearful situations, instead of reacting, you can breathe, think, and maybe even be relaxed in a high stressful situation. I've noticed.
Yeah, yes, totally. Because most of your fears, you're like anxieties and problems start in your mind. If you can calm down your mind through your breath, that's awesome. Like this, especially in those days. If you can kind of, because I know a lot of people cannot like sit still and kind of meditate in some way. I think a yoga for people that are like more active is a way to start, because yoga is in some sense is a way of meditation and get in tune to your breath. That's your like more sacred, more. I think that's the highest gift that you have is the breathing. Because with the like your life comes your breathing. Like for you to be here in this planet, you breathing, you breathe in, breathe out.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's very interesting. I actually wrote something down. There was a pose I did. I was doing a practice the other morning, and across the street there's these houses, and this guy always has his garage open.
Uh-huh.
I wear glasses. I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I don't wear glasses. What happened with me was I found out I don't believe in wearing glasses. I believe the glasses are almost like a crutch to your body, like is a crutch. And there was a book someone introduced to me called Throw Away Your Glasses, and other people told me about it. And these people, they don't believe in glasses. They believe your eyes are a muscle and you need to train them the best you can. And if you need them, you need them. But I don't like them, because whenever I used to wear glasses, I remember when I would take them off, my vision would be worse. So I was like, that's it. I don't want to wear glasses no more, because I feel my eyes were getting worse. But it was funny. The other day I was doing some back bends, and they were I was just standing, and I was just going back, looking behind. And I notice every now and then I'll see like little stars, like little stars will come in my face, like little dots. And I'm like, wow, that's cool, And so I did the back bend, and I came up, and I remember I looked across the street, and I looked inside the guy's garage, and I never could really see in his garage because I'm so far away. So I did the back bend again, got the stars, and I pulled back up, and I looked across the street, and I was noticing my vision was I was seeing inside his garage, and I could never see inside his garage before. And I was like, this is crazy. So I wrote down in my books what was going on. And then I remember there were some eye exercises one yoga guy showed me where, you look up, you look down, you look up, you look down 10 times, look this way, look that way 10 times without moving the head, and doing circles with your eyes. And then at the end, he would rub his hands get them real warm, and then he'd put them on there. And I remember that. So I started doing that. And I really think, they know. You know what I mean? Like they've been doing this.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I know I never practiced this type of yoga, but I know that they have facial yoga for like to train the muscles in the face, that's for sure. But what you're saying, that's very interesting about the eyes. And
Yeah.
I believe that too, you know, like everything that you need to use that comes from outside is in some ways a crutch, because our body is very, very, very smart.
Hmm.
So I didn't realize that until I did my massage school and
Hmm.
get to know about all the muscles, you know, and the organs inside your body
Okay.
and the cells. It was an amazing new word. I think everybody should know how the body works,
Yes.
because it's a perfection, you know, everything, you know, and the way you feed your body is very important too, you know,
Hmm.
because you're feeding our cells
Hmm.
to keep it going, you know, to keep going with like with your life. So everything that you do, everything that you put inside your body, you know, like it starts with the air that you breathe. That's important. And to be honest, I think this quarantine, everything that's going on like right now is to show us, you know, the importance that you for us to take care of ourselves, take care of our body, because the planet is the continuation, you know, what are you doing for our like earth. The earth is a being, you know, is a live being. What are you doing like right now with this, you know, and everything that you practice like in is a reflection what's going on out, you know.
Yes. So during this whole COVID-19, this lockdown, we call it a soft lockdown or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
You go deeper into practice, into your yoga practice. Did you have to refrain for a little bit and think? And what have you been doing under this quote unquote lockdown as far as your
So
practice?
now with this lockdown, I have kind of doing the same that I have been doing like for a few years. You know, I start my day with my meditations, and then I do my prayers. For me, like it's kind of five things that I do to kind of get through the day. That's my meditations, prayers. I like to read in the morning too,
Nice.
because if I don't do in the morning, I don't do during the day, you know, sometimes before I go to bed. But I
Right.
like to guarantee my readings like in the morning, because that's the way I learn and get the information, that intuitional information, because it's so many informations out there, you know, what I can say to people, like for them to kind of listen more their intuition, you know, because I think the universe is going to bring in some way whatever you need, you know, to survive, to thrive. So I'm not like saying to people to kind of block themselves. Like I think you have to get informed, but like be more concerned with this intuition, you know, you can, because this way you can filter, you know, all those bad things that's going on. I'm not saying kind of don't take the measures like to be safe. Yeah, if you like need to like wear the mask, you're gonna wear the mask, you're gonna wash your hands, you have to do whatever to keep yourself safe. But try to listen, kind of go like sit down and read, you know, because I think the universe talks to us in some way. So that's what I do. I meditate, I do my prayers, and I read. Then I go for like some exercise. I go bike, and then when I come back, I do the yoga. You know, you don't need to do like 1 hour practice. Like now what I have been doing is a video, 30 minutes video. Like there's a in YouTube is Sarah Betty Yoga. That's very nice. You know, the classes is for free. You know, no skills because you have to pay. That's for free classes.
Right.
And then that's what I have been doing. Keep positive thoughts. I think everything's gonna be like for the best. You know, even though it's hard now, it's hard because some people cannot see their families, cannot travel, or cannot go to work. But you're gonna thrive. It's gonna be for the best.
Well, this is why they say when you do interviews, to have notes, and I like to have notes ready, but I also like to just have like an organic conversation where what you just said makes me think of something. So I'm going to ask you this. What is your belief system? Because I know what my beliefs are with viruses, the body, and the way the body fights viruses. Because I know we're fighting cancers every day, even though we might not have it. We're fighting all type of right. We're fighting so much stuff already. Our bodies are fighting. We might not know that we're fighting cancer. It could be in us, and we don't even know it. We're just like a host, just like with this virus. So as far as what are your beliefs as far as the body taking care of it and healing? Because my belief is these things come in our bodies, but I believe if you do right, energy, your immune system, body health, and wealth, your body is a machine built to fight these things. Everything's coming in you, regardless, whether it's car exhaust, cigarette smoke, whatever, it's coming in you. So what are your thoughts as far as the body fighting and healing itself? What are your thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
I think, Dion, like in some way you answer that. It's your immune system. If you keep like your immune like strong, it's like more hard for you to get like outside stuff. If you have a good food, good health, and do exercise, move your body, it keep your like thoughts, your mind strong too, through like good good thinking, like just the same way you feed your body with a good food, like organic, clean water. Like sometimes people don't realize they spend so much money in clothes, cars, or whatever they like, but they don't realize the water is one of the most important things to invest, because our body is made from like 70% of water. So it's nice to drink a clean, nice water. So that's this way you can get your immune system strong, because a lot of the fears start in your head too. Like the same way you feed up your body with nice and clean stuff, you have to feed up your minds. Try to don't. I'm not like saying for you to live in the la la land, don't see what's going on, because a lot of things going on right now. But just try to kind of get aside, get one side in like to be positive, because I believe it was Einstein that he said there's just two ways to live life. Or you believe everything is a miracle, or you believe nothing is a miracle. I'm the one that like I'm more in the way that I believe everything, like your body, your life is a miracle. Since you're born, you are a miracle. So you're here for a purpose. You have to spread the good. I know we know like there's a lot of bad things out there, but you can keep strong if you keep the positive vibe, if you keep like do arts, be creative, like that crisis always exist. In this moment you have the privilege to be in your homes, watch TV, kind of choose whatever you want to watch or read or do. So it's not the third world. You still have options. You have, like, I know some people have been through like a lot of struggle, that some people doesn't have even food in their table. So if you still have food, you still have work, you can find those people, help that out. I think the compassion, way to think about life, that with purpose. I don't know. I can suggest one book, very, very good book, the Viktor Frankl, The Meaning of Life. Men search for the meaning, life's meaning, something like that. I don't know if you read this book. That's a good book to read right now, because we have to live the life with some purpose. That's the way you're gonna get through anything that's crossed our path.
Yes. Now, some people listening might not know Viktor Frankl was recommended to me from a book I was reading by Ryan Holiday, and he's the one that goes into like Stoicism and a lot of Roman Emperor stuff. But Viktor Frankl, if I believe he was it a Nazi imprisonment camp or something like that?
Yeah, yes, that's yeah. I think like the whole thing in his book was he kept the faith, going through all the horrors of the Nazis in that time. He kept the faith, and I think he was interviewing people. I think what kept people in the concentration camps and get them through this was like to believe they had some purpose. Doesn't matter what kind of purpose, but what was the purpose of like life, like they kept like think once they get out, get like survive this, they're gonna have something to do, you know. And most of them, they went out and they helped. Viktor Frankl, he helped. He created the logosophy. You know, was I think psychologist or
Yeah.
yeah. He helped like how many people he helped with his book. You know, like this photo. Like he went through like so much in that time, and then he got it. You know.
Yeah, I think those books and those readings, especially stuff on that level, even with like Mandela, I think he spent like, was it 26, 27 years in jail. And then as it came out as a happy man, you know, giving love to the world, he didn't let them take his soul, you know, for those 27 years. And books like that and readings like that are good. Like you said, we're not in a third world country. We have running water, we have air conditioning, we have Wi-Fi, we have certain things. So then it's almost like you're reverting to like gratitude, being grateful for what you have, as big or as small as is, and that type of energy. It's just, you know, people, when I see people complaining, you know, especially before this whole pandemic thing, I'm like, you got to look at what you have. You know, we've got so much here, especially in America. We've got so much here compared to around the world. It's like, that's why I can't really be like around too many complaining people.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm from a third country world. I know what is like. I came from a very like poor family. I'm so glad everything that I have right now, you know. And I think one of the things that people can do, you know, just keep some diary with like 3, 5, 10 things they're grateful for, and read those or write down every morning, you know. Sometimes you take what you have for granted, like the legs, the eyes that you have, the hands, you know. And now I think in this time, it's just time for you get like instead to be like so anxious to go out and do like the same thing you have been doing your whole life. Take this time, get inside yourself. Yes. You know, through meditation or through some yoga or through whatever that brings you in that state that you can relax and can be grateful for whatever. If you have water in, you know, in your home, hot water or whatever, you have food in your table, you can walk, you can breathe, because a lot of people is in the hospital right now, they cannot even breathe. You know, be grateful for whatever you have in this moment.
Amen to that. You know, I that's one thing I do when I get out of bed. I always give thanks that I'm even able to get out of the bed, because there's some people that can't get out of the bed.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Grateful for that. And with all this craziness going on, it sounds like my morning practice, my daily rituals are very similar to yours. It's I wake up, coffee, I read every morning. I try and keep it spiritual, but sometimes the book is not always spiritual. But I definitely, once again, I'm going back to my eyes, because I know if I'm not reading, you know, reading is it's also it's like a muscle in your eyes. It's like running or riding a bike. The more you read, the faster you read, the more you'll input.
Yeah, true.
And the big thing for me, which I want to ask you, because it came into my life and before the yoga, but it came in through the yoga. As you see behind me, I got a lot of records. I got my turntables. What has music been in your life as far as spiritual with your yoga? Like, how has music been a factor in your spiritual growth, your yoga growth, or your healing growth? What's music to you?
Oh my gosh, music for me is a lot, you know, because I love to dance. I'm not a good singer, but like I love when I dance, I just my soul just kind of laugh, you know, we smile all the time. That's one of like the things that I like to do the most. Since I was like little kid, I just love to dance. And in the Kundalini, you learn about we are music, because we are energy, you know, like you said that about spirituality. You don't need to like to read all the time spiritual books, because one of the most spiritual books that I read was a book about money. It was very interesting. And then I found a lot of information about spirituality in that book when I started. I was like so resisting to read that book because I was like, I don't want to read book about money, you know, money is not like my goal. And then when I start to read, I learned that money is just energy, you know, it's nothing like nothing else. It's not good or bad, you know, it's just the way you use this energy that's the make difference, right? And then music, like in Kundalini, you learn we are music, the planets are music. I don't know if you know about binaural.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, if you go and put it on YouTube, it's interesting. It's nice for you to check because the wave, the music waves, they can heal. The music can heal. Literally, they have a music therapy that can heal your cells. You know, in binaural is some way that your body, your cells can heal through music. You know, it's like some wave. I'm you know, because there's more sciencey. I don't know how to explain, but go and check it out. It's very interesting. You know, music is very interesting, like way to heal people.
I think you're explaining it perfect, because if we take it away from the science aspect, we know that music can make you happy, can make you mad, can make you sad. It deals with all these different emotions in your body. Like you'll hear some people hear a song, they might start crying or they might start laughing. That's how powerful the energy is. I definitely understand if you got the right energy in music, you're dealing with healing aspects too, especially if it's bringing out love or laughter, because obviously those energies, love, laughter, happiness, those energies are more healing energies than depression, fear, anxiety. Those are more destructive energies right there.
Yeah, you get right.
So how about in your yoga practices, whether you're at the facility, the yoga building doing it, or you're at home, do you guys intermix music into your practice ever?
Oh yeah, in the Kundalini all the time. So when I was in the training, you have the weekends, you brought in instruments, the drums. In the Kundalini, most of like by the end of our practice, they play the gong. You know the gong?
Yeah, okay. Is that the big one?
Yeah, the gong. And the gong is very, you know, the gong are very, very healing. And then the Kundalini, you learn how to play the gong. And Kundalini does a lot of songs, you know, a lot of music in the Kundalini community. When I was 2 years ago to the White Tantric event that does for the solstice, it's very close to here. I forget the name. I think it's Plant City. Okay. And then most of the time you do the sadhanas and then you sing, you pray, you do the mantras. It's everything's linked to the music in some way. You know, it's beautiful.
Wow. You got me thinking. When I was in North Carolina, there's a thing they do every Friday. My mother lives in a place called Asheville, and every Friday they have they've been doing it for like, I think 15 years. It's a drum circle. And everyone brings all these different anything to this. It's an outdoor park, and it's all drums, all types of sounds, and literally hundreds of people go there every Friday, and they basically jam out for an hour. I remember we went there, and this guy came out of the bushes, and he had like a sleeping bag. He was a young guy too. He was like 16 or 17. He's like, "Can I play some music for you guys?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." I'm sure you've seen it. He pulled out this thing. It was a circle. And he started hitting it, and it had all these different sounds on it. It was a big circle, and I don't know what the name of it was. I remember I found the name of it one time, but it was like metal.
Yeah, I know. I don't know the name either, but I know they sound so pretty. Yeah.
When he started playing it, I was like, "Holy smokes!" Like the sound, it was just, you would think there was a speaker that was hooked up to it, but there was no speaker. And like the sound was going all around us, because I guess just the acoustics and the way the area we were in, the sound started floating around. It was something else. That was amazing.
Yeah, I love Asheville. Yeah, it's very nice. Drum circle, I love. Close to here, like sometimes at the Dandelion, they have drum circles, and I love it. Music can be very, very healing. The sound waves are very healing. You know, a good music.
Yes, and you just mentioned, what was the place you mentioned? I remember that name.
Dandelion Cafe.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. That's in the house downtown, right?
Yes. They're vegan, vegetarian.
I used to go there a long time ago. I remember going in there a long time. I've been there back and forth throughout the years.
Yeah, they have the moon. I think it's the new moons, drum circle, and the full moon. Like for the whole year, they have this happening. It's very nice now because of the COVID. Of course, it's not, but probably they're gonna come back soon.
Okay. Well, talking about COVID, what do you do for your diet? Are you vegetarian? Do you eat meat? Or what do you do for your diet?
Yes, I don't eat meat like for over 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm not vegan. I cannot. I'm still eat eggs and I love yogurt, cheese. Because it's hard for me to be completely vegan, but I still eating those things. But I try to keep like clean as much that I can, try to get like organic. I think the perfect like word for me would be if I can plant, have a garden that I can have my own. Probably in the future, I want to have a place that I can have to plant stuff, seeds and the fruits and everything.
So has it been a different challenge as far as getting the food you normally get during this process since the COVID-19, the coronavirus? Has it been more of a challenge to eat the way you eat?
Not really. No, to be honest, no, because I still like the place that I buy stuff still open. So yeah, not that hard.
Where do you go?
I like to go to Trader Joe's, Whole Foods sometimes, even Aldi's.
Okay. So basically, you're consistent. So your meals are consisting of is salad a heavy portion? Is like throughout the week? Are you a big salads, or are you just eating a lot of different other stuff you put together?
No, like I love rice and beans, because Brazilian, like the good Brazilians, they love rice and beans. Okay. So yeah, salads. I'm not very creative in the kitchen, but like salads, tofu. I love breads. I think that's my weakness. And pasta. Okay. So yeah, pasta.
Now, as far as the whole food things go, I guess you've been doing it for like 20 years now?
Yeah, as a vegetarian,
Would you say you spend more money on? Because I know for me to eat healthy, when I started switching healthy, I noticed I had to spend a little extra money, especially obviously Whole Foods. But to get those foods that you normally wouldn't get at Publix or just better produced foods, you notice you spend a little more to get better quality, or how have you been?
Sometimes people, I think they think that's kind of more expensive to get. I think when you start to be more mindful, the things that you bring it inside your home, for yourself to feed your body, what you do less quantity because you don't need much. When you go, let's say, to Walmart to buy, and you buy so much, that things that you don't need, all the processed food, like when you start to eating like more clean, you're gonna eat less. So then what you're gonna spend, because what I think is like, if you don't pay now, you're gonna pay later, because it's not quantity, it's quality, because everything that you're putting inside your body, like the food that you eat, if it's not clean, you're gonna get some trouble, kind of some disease. You're gonna like spend your money with medications in some way, hospitals, right? So if you don't pay now, you're gonna pay later. So why don't take care for like our precious, most precious thing that you have there, your body, right?
I agree. So what would you tell somebody that's in a stuck mode right now, COVID-19, depressed, scared, fear? What would you tell somebody as far as combating that? Somebody who's just like, oh, everyone's in chaos now, like they don't know. What would be your advice to somebody just to keep them going?
First of all, to trust, to have faith, in God, whatever they're perceive as God, doesn't matter how you call this entity, this energy. First of all, like trust, because God knows for me that like trust God. I think no, God doesn't play darts, you know, he knows, you know, what he's doing with his creation. You know, you're not alone in this planet.
Right.
So you believe, you trust, everything's gonna be okay. But do your part. What you can do as your part. Being trustful, you know, in this force, in this energy. You meditate, you be calm, you know, be compassion, be grateful, pray, meditate, read, like feel yourself, know with just with good foods, the way you were talked before, but you're like feed your mind with good thoughts, with good movies. Get the news, but don't get the fake news. There's a lot of things out there to make you weak, because when you stop to trust, you stop to believe, you start to live in fear. You know, that's no good. You're gonna be apart. Be strong, because all those positive things, you know, the positive vibes, the way you feed your body, your mind, your spirit, you're gonna make you strong. Because we are we are light. You are created for a good purpose, a big one. You have to help, you know, hold hands. Like I would say hold hands, not in a figurative way, you know, because now you cannot hold hands.
Yeah, right.
But yes, right. But let's hold hands like in an imaginative way. In think you're not alone in this planet. Let's get through this with this big heart, with compassion, like help like the people they don't have the means, you know, to be strong. You can do that. You're gonna get through this.
I like it. In your views in life, going through your yoga practice, during your spirituality, doing everything you've learned so far, how is your perception on blame? It's other people's fault. I feel this way because of you. What is your perception on accountability, on self accountability? Do you allow people to blame others? Like it's Johnny's fault. I'm mad. Like, what is your perception in the world you live in about stuff like that?
For me, Dion, there's nobody else's fault. We are responsible for anything that's happened to us, to our planet, you know, like, so let's get out of this comfortable zone, self-pitying way. No, we are responsible for everything that's happening to our waters, you know, to our politics, to anything that's happened with us. Because everything starts here in your thoughts. Like even the way you think, that's the reason I'm suggesting people to be careful with where like they like thinking, because even our thoughts are energy. They can influence other people, even though if you don't speak them. Be very careful, because everything in some way affects people's life. Everything that's the reason I'm saying you hold hands in like, even though it's an imaginary way, because you need each other. You need to help those people. They're like so afraid because they might gonna lose their jobs. But if you like be positive, you lose this job, but you can get some better. Just everything start here. You know, everything is perception. The way we perceive the life is the difference in the world. It's not everything that's kind of happening in some way is an illusion, because we create all the time. You have this power. We are co-creators. You can create, you know, and then unfortunately, collectively, you create I'm not like saying that you create the virus, but I'm saying that's all this craziness, you know, like this energy, like you create in some way through like your ancestors, you know, you have just to cling to heal. You have to heal this entire world, this beautiful world. We are responsible, you know. It's no blame. It's no blame the boss, no blame the wife, the husband, the kids. They're not your problem, because if they're gone, you're gonna have somebody else to blame. You just stop. this blaming game, it's nobody's to blame. It's not the politicians, they're afraid too.
Yes.
The power is your hands.
Mm-hmm. You remind me a lot of there's a Navy SEAL. His name's Jocko, and he's got a saying in I believe a book and a podcast. It's called extreme ownership. So you're just owning everything in your life, everything that's in your control. You only have control of yourself. You can't literally control other people. You can't. You can only control yourself, your emotions, your energy, your vibes. And when you try to control another human or another sector or even a whole other ideology, you can't. It's not really your place.
Yeah.
It starts with self.
Yeah. It's true. That reminds me the serenity prayer that you ask, for you courage to change whatever you can, patience for acceptance to accept whatever that comes in our way, right? And wisdom, to discern whatever you need to discern in that moment to take our decisions, because in the bottom line is always our decision. You decide every single moment what you want to be, where you want to be, all the time. That's our decision. It's nobody else's business.
Beautiful. I love it. Well, I think we better wrap this up because I know I'm getting close to that time on my Zoom. I'm limited with all this pandemic stuff going on. Everybody's on Zoom. It's crazy. How can people now use? I think maybe I missed it in the interview. You're teaching yoga, or you're teaching, correct?
No, I'm not teaching yoga right now. I'm work with mandalas. I'm just doing yoga for myself.
Okay.
Because I'm a little bit busy. Like, even though you're liking this COVID, I'm like having projects too. I don't know if you know, I'm a massage therapist. I'm been working right now as a massage therapist. I'm a facilitator of healing arts. I'm taking this time to put things together. So I'm not have been teaching. I just have been practicing right now. But probably when all those things get back to normal, I was thinking start to give my classes, but I'm not teaching right now.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, that's some great information. We'll have to discuss a little later about some more of those ventures. You said you were in the facilitation of...
Yeah, I do healing art workshops. I work with this. I have the certification to facilitate workshops. It's amazing. I did some of them in California. Wow. With the abused women, with the kids, impoverished kids, with the military. I did a few workshops over here too with the teenagers. I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, the workshop.
Wow, well, maybe we can talk another time about that. That sounds very interesting. Something maybe I can either assist or, I mean, it just sounds interesting. We'll talk a little more about that. I like that.
Yes, I love it. That's one of my favorite things.
All right, well, it was a pleasure. And if you have any information, I'll leave some links, maybe even on that. But it was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Do you want to say goodbye to anybody or anyone watching, or just say goodbye to everybody?
So I'm just... a lot of gratitude for you to invite me. I love your beautiful soul. Since the first time that I saw you, it was a pleasure to meet you. And thank you for the invitation. Thank you for everybody there listening. Be safe, keep it positive, do the nice thing, spread the light, be the light, okay?
All right.
Beijos.
I love it. Beijos.
Beijos, kisses, show.
Right.
Kisses and hugs.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.